everyone, welcome back. I'm Daniel and you're on Hustle Every Day. Now I know summer's over, so lawn equipment may not be as important to a lot of you, but with summer ending, fall is here. And with fall, we get leaves. With leaves, we get cleanup. And whether you're a homeowner or a lawn care professional like myself, one of the most important tools in your arsenal can be a handheld blower. Now, if you're like me, you've probably found yourself in the store looking at the Stihl BG50 and the Stihl BG56, looking at the specs, noticing that they're virtually identical, wondering which one should I get and why does the Stihl BG56 cost so much more money? Well, today we're going to put them kind of head to head, feature and spec speaking, and that way I can help you make a choice based on what you want to do with your handheld blower. So let's start with what's under the hood of these two blowers. The engine displacement is the exact same on both of these. You're looking at a 27.2 cc two-stroke engine, delivers 0.9 brake horsepower. The air volume, or the CFM, is 412 on both of these, and that's going to be the amount of air that they move out of the nozzle. And the blowing force is 13 newtons of blowing force on both of these, and that's going to be the actual amount of air that you can fill. So again, the question is, if the engine and the specs are virtually identical, then what exactly are we paying more for on the Stihl BG56? So Stihl justifies the higher price tag on the BG56 by saying it's all about making your job easier and giving you more flexibility with this blower. So the first big selling point with the Stihl BG56 is their simplified starting system, or otherwise called their easy to start system. And that's going to mean two things for you. Number one, the choke, after you start it, automatically pops back to the run position. You do not manually have to do that yourself. And the pull cord is a system that uses a spring-assisted recoil. And I can tell you, it does make it much easier to pull. You don't have to pull near as hard. It's quite a bit smoother and it's quite a bit lighter. It does use significantly less effort, especially if you're like me, pull starting this thing 15 to 20 times a day. Whereas the Stihl BG50 is your traditional, reliable pull start blower. You set it to choke with a little lever, you pull the cord, which doesn't have the spring-assisted recoil. Once it's fired up, you set the choke back to run on your own. There is no automatic system, and you're good to go. Let me show you the difference between both of these blowers. So this is the BG56. I'm barely pulling on that. Now let's take a look at the BG50. That took quite a bit more effort to pull, and it takes quite a bit more effort overall to get it started. And this is where the versatility and attachment side of it comes into play also. Stihl BG50, it's a blower. That's what it's meant to do. It's a dedicated leaf and grass blower. It does it well, but that's where its tricks stop. Whereas the BG56, they consider that more of a convertible type of model. So it comes as a blower, but there's a couple of optional kits that are sold separately. You can actually turn the BG56 into a shredder or a vacuum, which I'm personally not a huge fan of. If you've ever used the small shredder vacuum systems on most blowers, they're pretty slow. They don't work that well. And just like you have to do with this 56, normally you have to remove the fan blade that comes on it and install an additional fan blade that's not going to get eaten up by the leaves and the sticks, which is also an additional cost. If you're going to try to do the leaves in your yard, blow them into a pile, get a trash bag, scoop them in, tie them up, put them out for the trash, and you're good to go. Unless you're looking to specifically compost leaves, maybe for a garden, then there's really not a whole lot of reason in messing with it. And the other feature that the BG56 offers is a gutter vac. So because of the way this system pops on and off right here and right here, you can actually hook up, I think it's $50 for the additional gutter cleaning system, and it basically goes up and curves over and allows you to blow the leaves out of your gutter. For some people that may sound exceptional, but if you've ever cleaned gutters before, you know a lot of that stuff can kind of turn muddy and nasty, and oftentimes the last thing you want to do is blow that stuff straight down, because it's going to shoot up, it's going to get all over everything, and your gutters might be clean, but everything else is going to be dirty. So I guess maybe if you keep up on your gutters on a regular basis with a system like that, it might work well. But overall, in my opinion, the best way to clean gutters is to throw a ladder up there and scoop them out by hand. Another thing that you can also do that's a little trick a lot of people don't realize, you can aim the blower up at the bottom of the gutter system, and the air will actually wrap around the gutter and it'll knock the leaves out anyway. So if you don't have that many leaves in your gutter, or it's to the point where you can just blow them out with a blower, then just hold your blower toward the bottom of your gutter, and I promise you'll see all of your leaves blow out. And unless you just like buying a lot of accessories, maybe you have some extra money, in my opinion, you really don't need that gutter cleaning system attachment for the BG56. So at this point, you may be even just a little bit more confused about which one you want to buy. I hope I'm not adding to the confusion, but let me add a few more details to these machines. So the BG50 comes in at 7.9 pounds dry, meaning no gasoline, no mixture added to this machine. Whereas the BG56 comes in at 9.3 pounds dry, or in other words, for my people across the pond, 3.6 kilograms versus 4.2 kilograms. Now, Stihl does compensate a little bit by adding a larger fuel tank on the BG56. You get 18.3 ounces versus 14.5 ounces. But keep in mind that extra fuel is even going to add to the weight of the 56 just a little bit more. Now, another part of the BG56's weight is that they've added some additional dampening systems into this blower. But what's kind of ironic is I don't really notice the dampening systems doing a whole lot, because this blower, the 50, does feel so much lighter. The additional weight of the 56 is a little bit more of a hindrance, and oddly enough, the 50, because it is so much lighter, actually feels quite a bit more powerful. So if there is any fatigue coming from either of these machines, they both kind of have their own fatigue points that you get, because this is a little bit heavier. It's pulling down on your arm a little bit more, so you get that arm fatigue there. Whereas this is a little bit lighter, the air actually has a tendency to push it back, so you're kind of trying to hold it forward, which also causes a little bit of arm fatigue. So overall, which blower should you get? Well, in my opinion, if you're not doing leaf vac and you're not doing gutters, I would say go with the BG50. It's lighter, it's the same power, it's quite a bit less expensive, and it's going to do the same amount of work in the same amount of time. But if you have that extra money to spend, you're wanting to try out the leaf vac, you're wanting to try out the gutter cleaning attachment, then go ahead, get the BG56. I did, but overall, when I go back to buy another blower for my company, I'm going to buy the Stihl BG50. As a homeowner, you are only buying one, so maybe you can justify spending that extra money for the Easy Start system. So overall, either one of these blowers are going to be a phenomenal choice. You're going to be happy with either one of them. But like I said, my choice, if you're looking to move grass and move leaves, would be the Stihl BG50. So with that said, guys, I appreciate you watching. Let me know down in the comments if you have any questions. Like I always say, hustle every single day. Never slow down. Keep making that money. Until next time, take it easy.